Finding your way to the mat, let's begin by stretching our legs out nice and long, letting your feet fall mat distance or further apart. You can tuck your shoulders under your spine, letting the palms fall to the sides. Let's take a nice deep breath in through the nose and let it out of your mouth, sighing out. Next, inhale, imagine gathering up all the tension, all the stress, any anxiety that's built up over the day. Breathing deep in through the nose, fill your belly, filling up. And as you breathe out, let it all go, releasing it from the body, feeling yourself begin to settle into this space, into your practice, starting to notice the subtle rise and fall of your belly, feeling the breath traveling in the nose, down your throat, feeling the belly expand, filling the lungs. And then as you breathe out, feeling the belly drop, softly letting it go. Seeing if you can slow the breath without any force. Just letting it subtly lengthen on the inhale and on the exhale. Now see how soft, how quiet, how gentle that breath can be. Letting it just really easily flow in through the nose, down to the belly. Taking a few moments just following the inhale and the exhale. As your breath begins to slow, feel your body beginning to relax. Tension dissolving from your face as you unhinge the jaw, relaxing the tongue and the bottom of your mouth, softening the space between your eyebrows, shoulders melting into the mat, hips are heavy, feeling grounded, feeling safe and still, eyes closed. A few more moments just following that breath. If you would like to set an intention for your practice this evening, so that is something perhaps you'd like to cultivate over the next hour, peace, gentleness, ease, compassion, whatever comes to mind. Slowly bring your right hand to rest on your heart, allowing the left hand to come rest on top of the right. Feel your heart beating under your hands. Feel your chest rising and falling. And when you're ready, set that intention. When you're done, slowly release your hands, beginning to bring some movement to your fingers and your toes, maybe circling out the wrists and ankles, pointing and flexing the feet. You might rock your head side to side. If you'd like, stretch your arms above you, take a deep breath in through the nose, and sigh. Let's slowly draw the knees in towards the chest, bending one knee at a time. Pressing the thighs lightly against the belly. You might tuck your chin, lifting the head off the mat, drawing forehead towards the knees, stretching out the length of your spine. Deep breath in. And then keeping the knees drawn inwards, allow the upper body to fall towards the floor. Roll to your right hand side. And then slowly press your way up to your hands and your knees. So coming onto your mat on your hands and knees. Your hands will come right under your shoulders. Knees will come under your hips. And we're going to awaken the spine a little bit here. So as we breathe in, we just relax the belly, drop it towards the mat, pull the chest forward and gaze up towards the ceiling. That's our cow pose. As we exhale, softly pressing into the floor, rounding your spine, dropping your head, tucking your tailbone. Keep flowing back and forth, inhaling to drop the belly. Exhaling to round your spine. You might invite some side-to-side movement here. Letting the hips and the shoulders move side to side, the belly move up and down. Whatever sort of intuitive, natural movement feels good to wake up the body. We'll go one more full cycle each way. And then we're going to come back to neutral. And this is where you might want to take a look at me on the screen. We're going to press down into the left hand. As we inhale, slowly twist to the right, lifting that right arm up to the ceiling. So you'll gaze up towards that right hand. As you exhale, that right hand is going to slide right under the left. You can see I'm dropping my shoulder and my head towards the floor. My hips are still lifted. So the hips stay lifted, shoulder and head drop towards the mat. Once you're in that shape, you can keep the left hand on the floor like this, or reach it up and over for the back right hip. That will invite a little more of a twist to the pose, but what we're really looking for here is to stretch between the shoulder blades. So you want that right shoulder dropped and to feel a really subtle pull in that tissue, those muscles and connective tissue between the shoulder blades. You can relax the jaw. You can let the hips kind of maybe roll to one side or another. As we're here, they might start to sink a little bit. But we're just going to breathe into the subtle twist and that gentle opening, that pull. Our yin practice, as we mentioned last week, is really slow. We stay in our poses a little bit longer, generally about 3 minutes. And what this does is it allows us to stretch some of that connective tissue, some of that fascia. So that's kind of a sticky webbing that covers our muscle tissue. It allows us to stretch that fascia. And when we stretch it really gently and slowly, it actually helps to hydrate that tissue and make it a little more resilient, a little more flexible, a little more open, which can help with our range of motion and some injury prevention as well. So we never want to force any of these poses, but we let time, we let gravity do the work for us. So just a couple more breaths here. Not staying too much longer. Maybe notice if you've begun to grip any muscles through the face, the shoulder, the hips. Breathing nice and deep, nice and slow. Take your 3 last breaths. After your 3rd exhale, if that left hand is behind the back, bring the palm to the floor. Slowly begin to press into the left hand. You can see me lifting my chest nice and slowly, unthreading that right arm, twisting gently to the side, gaze up towards the ceiling. Release the right hand slowly to the mat. Now, if you'd like, knees can come mat distance apart and you can press back to a child pose. If you want, you can straighten out the legs, stack your hands, and rest on your belly, head resting on the hands. So either option, we're taking that little pause. So just like last week, we find that space between poses. This is our opportunity to observe the body, to observe how these postures have shown up for us today, any physical sensations, any energetic sensations, the thoughts that come up in our mind. It's that little moment where we can reflect, we can take stock, and then very gently we can release. So let's all slowly press back up to hands and knees, and we'll let go of that pose. So maybe taking those cat-cows, dropping the belly, and then pressing and rounding the spine, maybe rolling side to side, even back and forth. These little movement opportunities are completely your own. You can make them look however you'd like. So when you're ready, we're going to set up for the opposite side. So this time the right hand stays planted. As you inhale, twist gently, slowly to the left, extending that left arm up, gazing to the ceiling, feeling that pull, and then slowly threading that left arm under the right, drop the left shoulder to the floor, drop your head to the floor, and let yourself settle into this twist. Option again to leave the right hand on the mat or reach the right hand behind you for that left hip. I tend to generally leave that right hand down, providing a little bit of extra traction. But you listen to your body and how this pose wants to feel for you today. Take your time to get set up, finding a few nice, easy breaths. Settling into the shape now. Relax the hands, make sure you're not gripping or tensing the fingers. I like to visualize my breath traveling to the back of my body and just imagining those muscles expanding as I breathe in. So really growing, creating space as I inhale, stretching out. And then as I exhale, they really release and relax and soften. So almost like a balloon filling up, creating space between the shoulders. And then as you exhale, slowly, softly deflating back and forth. A little image to keep in your mind. Cultivating that same breath that we created in our very first pose on our backs. If your thoughts begin to wander, that's perfectly fine, perfectly normal. Allow them to bubble up, rising up. Observe those thoughts. And then when you're ready, just let them go. Without any attachment, without any judgment. No matter the thought, it could be, when is this pose going to end? What am I going to have for dinner? Whatever it is, just allow it to arrive and then let it go. Coming back always to the breath, maybe to that little balloon between the shoulders. Just a few more breaths here. If that right hand is behind the back, slowly bring the right hand to the mat. And when you're ready, pressing into the right hand, straightening the arm, lifting the chest, unthreading that left arm, twisting to the side, gazing to the ceiling. Take a moment and then release the left hand, and a couple options. You can find your child's pose, so pressing your hips back. You can come to your belly or flip right over onto your back and lay down in a little mini shavasana. Whichever you prefer, just find that little moment, that pause. A few easy breaths. Notice if this side was a little different coming out of it. Maybe it was a little more open. Maybe you have a little more achiness. Again, we're just observing, we're not judging. We're not trying to change anything. Now, if you'd like to find any movement to release that pose, if you're on your back, you might hug the knees into your chest, maybe rocking side to side, massaging out the upper back. If you're hands and knees, or if you were child's pose, you can go up to hands and knees, taking a couple cat-cows. And when you're done, we'll all meet in a seated position. Legs can be crossed, so comfortably crossed in front of you. You just want your knees bent wherever you are. And we're going to bring our hands to our knees here. So I'll give everyone a moment just to make sure you're there. And then once we're here, we're going to do a similar movement to that cat-cow. In the chest and then opening the shoulders. So hands come to knees. As you breathe in, squeeze the shoulder blades together, press the chest forward, tilt the chin up, and gaze to the sky. As you breathe out, press your hands into your knees, flare the shoulder blades apart, round the spine, and gaze down. So we're just moving back and forth, exaggerating that movement of the shoulder blades. So drawing them together and then flaring them apart. Just a couple rounds here. One more time each way, so pressing forward and rounding back. And we'll come back to center. And we'll just do a quick little shoulder neck opener, nothing really long, but hands can rest on your knees, sitting nice and tall. Drop your chin towards the chest and let the head just rock gently side to side. So we're not doing complete circles, we're just really slowly stretching out the back of the neck, the back of the shoulders. Nice deep breaths. And slow movements, allowing the body to feel really safe, letting it know that it's okay to relax, create space. Let's roll one more time each way. And then come back to center, sitting tall. Inhale here. Exhale, look over your right shoulder. So you're just gazing over to the right, just for a couple breaths, stretching out the side of your neck, and then compressing the right side. Inhale here. Exhale. Inhale back to center. Exhale, gaze to the left. So stretching out the right side of your neck and lightly compressing the left side. A few nice, easy breaths. Next, inhale, come back to center. Draw your shoulders up to your ears and then let them fall back. Gently making little circles, getting rid of any last little bits of tension through the upper body. Rolling the shoulders forward one more time, and then this time circling the opposite way. Just massaging out the neck and the back before our next pose. And we'll come to center. Inhale, stretch the arms overhead, interlace the fingers, flip the palms, extend. And as you exhale, drop the left hand, stretch the right arm over to the side, preparing for our side bend. Inhaling back up. And exhale, dropping the other hand, stretching the side. And then coming back to center. So our next pose today is going to be banana pose, Banasana. So if you know how to get into it, go right ahead. We're going to start with our hips shifting to the right side of the mat. So if you've never done banana pose, we're going to come down to our backs, laying down flat with our legs extended. And we're going to take our hips, pick them up, shift them over to the right side. Stretch those feet out long, and then walk your feet to the left. So hips go to the right, feet go to the left. Now you can stay like this, or you may want to deepen the stretch by crossing the right ankle under or over the left ankle. Once you're here, you might pick up the upper body and guide your arms and shoulders over to the left. So essentially what you look like is a little curved banana, laying down completely flat on the mat. So I'll kind of stand up and show you. I might not get my whole body in the screen here, but I'll try as much as I can. So you'd be standing up and you're making like this little C shape, but you're on the mat laying flat. So what that should do is invite a nice deep stretch all along the right side of your body. So your arms are overhead, and it doesn't really matter how far they move to the left. Maybe just inviting a slight little shift to get a little stretch into the armpit. You'll feel this down through your right hip and all along the ribs on the right side of the body. So once you're settled, once you're in the pose, close the eyes. Feel all the different body parts that are really settled and connected into the floor. If you find your arms are hovering at all, you can place your towel underneath your arm. And again, let's visualize that breath. Let's imagine that breath on the right side of the body, expanding the rib cage, feeling the ribs on the right side body, drawing apart, creating space as you breathe in, and relaxing, softening as you breathe out. Maybe now you notice the stretch through that right hip. So bringing your awareness down into that right hip. Feeling that breath. And as we're here for a little more time, you might notice a sensation down the right leg, down into your IT band, maybe all the way to your right ankle. And then maybe that stretch moves to under the right arm, feeling that space. Eyes closed, breathing slow. Relax the jaw. Just a few more breaths on this side. If your ankles are crossed, slowly uncross the right ankle. Walk your feet back under the hips so they're nice and straight. Slowly release the arms to your side, coming to lay down flat on your back. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And scanning the body, the right and left side, noticing how you feel physically, mentally. Feeling settled and still. If you would like to find some movement to release that pose, it can feel great to plant your feet, bending the knees, bring the feet mat distance apart, and then slowly let them rock side to side like little windshield wipers. Just releasing the hips, releasing your side. Taking a few rounds that way. Maybe you hug the knees into the chest. Again, this is your opportunity for that intuitive movement, whatever that may look like. And then when you're ready, hips will slide to the left side of your mat. So we're just going to slide the hips over to the left, pick up the feet, walk the feet over to the right. Maybe you cross that left ankle under or over the right ankle. Once you feel settled, so both hips are nice and rooted on the floor, you might pick up the shoulders and guide the left arms over to the right, finding that nice, long stretch all the way from left fingers to left toes. Remember, you're making that little banana shape, like that little crescent moon. Feeling that stretch into the left ribs, into that left hip, traveling up the left arm and down the left leg. Once you're settled, close your eyes. Find that stillness, that ease, and just drift away. Soften your forehead. Relax your belly, your hands. Awareness to the breath.
Just a couple more nice, long, slow, deep breaths here. Maybe sighing gently with every exhale. When you are ready, as slow and gentle as you can, uncross the ankles if they're crossed. Slowly walk the feet back under the hips, releasing the arms to your sides. Take a deep breath in and let it go. Let's find our pause. Once again, if you would like to find any movement to release that pose, you can plant the feet, let the knees rock side to side. You can hug your knees into your chest. You might wiggle your toes. You can stay still. Whatever you prefer, just letting it go. When you're ready, draw your knees in towards the chest. Roll to your left-hand side and come up to a seated position. And we're going to use our towel bolster next for our next pose. So find your nicely made little bolster. And if you have a kitty, move them off your mat. And you're going to lay your bolster, as you can see, I have it lengthwise up the mat. So it's not going side to side, it's going lengthwise up the mat. And because towels are a little short, this is where you can find your pillow and just place your pillow at the top of your towel. So you want it for underneath your head. Once you have your bolster set up, you're going to sit down in front of the bolster and see I've got a few inches between my low back and the actual bolster. You're going to bend your knees and start to lower down. So you want the bottom of your towel to come to about your mid back. So a few inches below your shoulder blades, but not necessarily all the way down to your sacrum. So you're going to lay down and the towel's going to run right between the shoulder blades. And then your head is going to rest on your pillow and your arms will come out to the sides if that feels okay. That might be a little intense, so you might bring them down by your hips. But what you want to feel are your shoulder blades sort of melting off the sides of your bolster. And you can keep your knees bent with your feet on the floor if that feels good for you. Or you might stretch the legs out long, letting the feet fall to the sides. And our last little option here is drawing the soles of our feet together and letting the knees drop to either side wall, coming into a little reclined cobbler's pose. So the most important part of this stretch is allowing your shoulders to really melt off the sides of the bolster. Breathing deep into the chest, feeling that expansion, feeling that space. Allowing that upper body to be really soft. The breath to move really slowly. Relax the hands. Let the support of the bolster allow the tension to drain from your upper back. Feeling the chest expand and grow with every inhale and soften with every exhale. Eyes are closed. Lower body is completely relaxed, grounded wherever you've chosen to be. Come back to the breath. Relax your tongue. Soften your fingers, your hands. Just a little bit longer here. Where else can you let go? Where else can you surrender into the stretch, into the pose? Moving very slowly and carefully, bring your feet back to the mat, knees bent. Arms are going to come to your sides, palms to the mat. Tuck your chin and slowly press yourself up. Move your props to the side. And then lay down flat onto your back. Finding that rebound, take a huge breath in and let it go. Feel that upper back releasing into the floor. Feel that pose, that stretch, that space between the shoulders, that opening of the heart. Now, after that deeper opening of the chest, the shoulders, and the heart, it can feel nice to draw the knees right into your chest. Rocking side to side, allowing your back to be massaged gently by the floor. Nice and slow. And then we're going to keep our knees drawn in. Arms are going to come out to the sides at shoulder height, palms towards the ceiling. So you can always take a look at me if you're unsure. Knees are lifted. If you'd like, you can cross your right leg over your left leg, just like this, and then allow the knees to drop to the left. Now that can be quite an intense twist. So another really beautiful option is knees together and then allow them to drop to the left. You might even just walk that right leg over, straightening it to the left side, relaxing the belly. We're just looking for a gentle twist through the spine. Now, if your knees are kind of hovering or lifted, you can place a prop under that bottom left knee, or if you find your knees are kind of floating apart, place a prop between the knees. And that will allow you to really relax the hips, soften through the belly. If you have the space, you may even gaze over that right hand, bringing your stretch to your upper back. But if that feels sharp or painful in any way, keep your gaze neutral or even gazing to the left. We're going to settle into this twist. Relax the belly. Soften the eyes and the hands. Relaxing the hips. Feeling so supported and safe. Everything is gentle and easy. All you have to do is breathe. If you are gazing to the right, slowly bring your eyes to center. And then very carefully and gently lift the knees back up. Straighten your legs out long. Relax your arms to your sides. Deep breath in. And let it go. If you would like to find any movement before we twist to the right side, you can do so now. Again, whatever that may look like for you. If you want to stay still, a couple more breaths, always an option. When you are ready, arms will extend to the sides at shoulder height, palms facing the ceiling. Bending the knees in towards the chest. This time, you might cross left leg over right leg and let the knees drop over to the right. Or again, stacking knees on top of one another. You can place that prop underneath or between the knees for support. Relax the belly. And if it's safe on the neck, you may gaze to the left this time. But again, if there's any sharp pains, anything uncomfortable, keep your gaze neutral at center. Focus on softening the belly and really feeling where that stretch is pulling along the back, maybe along the outside edges of your legs. And again, we settle, we breathe, we invite that support and safety and gentleness. If you are gazing to the left, again, take your time, bring your eyes to center, slowly lifting the knees, finding any last movements that you need to prepare for your final rest pose. We're going to set up for Shavasana now. I like to place my rolled up towel underneath my knees to support the low back, so you can extend the legs out long, placing the blanket underneath your knees. If it's more comfortable for you to take final rest on your belly or your side, you're welcome to do that as well. You might want to wrap yourself up in a blanket, maybe put a pillow under your head, just getting yourself as comfortable as you can possibly be for guided relaxation and Shavasana. So if you're on your back, Stretching the legs out, feet falling mat distance or further apart, shoulders tucked under the back, arms to your sides or resting on your belly. Let's all take a deep breath in through the nose and sigh. I'm going to lead you through a short guided relaxation. So as I call out different body parts, without any force, without any effort, feel them relax, letting go. If you lose track of my voice, fall asleep, or float away, that's perfectly fine. Just take what you need as you breathe your awareness to your jaw, relaxing your tongue, your eyes, your eyebrows, softening your forehead, top of your head, and back of your head. Feeling your whole head grow heavy, still, thoughts floating away as you breathe your awareness to your feet, relaxing your big toes, pinky toes, middle toes, tops of your feet, balls of your feet, arches, heels, ankles, shins, calves, backs of the knees, kneecaps, thighs, hamstrings, glutes, hips, and pelvis. Feeling your whole lower body grow completely relaxed. Your whole lower body is completely relaxed, safe, supported, and still as you breathe your awareness to your torso, softening your low back, your low belly, your left oblique, your mid back, right oblique, belly button, solar plexus, upper back, sternum, rib cage, lungs, heart, chest, and collarbones, softening the front of your shoulders, the back of your shoulders, upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, palms of the hands, back of the hands, pinky fingers, thumbs, ring fingers, pointer fingers, and middle fingers. Feeling your whole upper body grow still, soft, melting into the mat as you breathe your awareness to your throat, softening the right side of your neck, left side of your neck, the back of your neck, the back of your head, top of your head, forehead, eyebrows, eyelids, eyes, temples, nose, cheeks, ears, jaw, tongue, lips, and chin. Feeling your whole body grow completely relaxed. Your whole body is completely relaxed, safe, supported, and still as your thoughts float away and you enter Shavasana. Slowly begin to deepen your breath, bringing your awareness back into the room, back into your body. Gently wiggle your fingers and your toes, circling out your wrists and ankles as you rock your head from side to side. You can point your toes, take a deep breath in, stretch your arms overhead, and exhale, release. Bring your right hand to your heart, left hand on top. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. Feel your heartbeat, your chest rise and fall. Reconnect with the intention that you set at the beginning of your practice. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us, to come together in this special way, to share a practice, to connect pretty much from coast to coast. Thank you so, so much. Namaste.